Have you ever wondered why you can hear a pin drop in a massive, noisy airport terminal, but you have to literally shout over the background music at your local restaurant?
Yeah, it's a completely different acoustic environment.
Right. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're decoding the invisible physics of commercial acoustics. We've got a stack of technical specs from HDTVSupply for QSC's AcousticDesign ceiling loudspeakers.
And our mission today is really to figure out why picking the right speaker, it isn't just about the size of the woofer.
Exactly. It's about matching geometry and physics to actual human spaces.
A lot of people just assume you stick a speaker in a ceiling, crank the dial, and you're done.
Right.
The geometry of the room totally dictates the shape of the sound you need to engineer.
Well, let's start with a standard restaurant or retail space, maybe a typical 10-foot ceiling. Looking at the specs for standard low-profile models, the 4.5-inch AD-C4T and the 6.5-inch AD-C6T, the design totally reminds me of a lawn sprinkler set to mist.
A mist, yeah. That is a great analogy.
Because they boast these incredibly wide conical coverage angles, like 150 degrees for the smaller one and 135 for the larger. You want that broad, even wash of background music.
Right, so nobody gets blasted out of their chair just because their table happens to be directly underneath the speaker.
Yeah, nobody wants that while they're eating dinner.
Exactly. And to get that wide, even mist to work across an entire restaurant, the electrical side has to support that physical spread. These speakers use 70 or 100-volt multi-tap transformers.
Which act kind of like long-distance electrical power lines, right?
Yeah, pretty much. By stepping the voltage way up, installers can push that audio signal across hundreds of feet of wire.
Yeah.
You can daisy-chain dozens of speakers together across a massive flat ceiling without the signal degrading.
So as you walk from the hostess stand to your table, those wide coverage angles overlap perfectly. And those transformers ensure the volume and tone just stay consistent the whole way.
No dead zones at all.
Right, okay, but wait. If the whole strategy for a standard room is to spray a wide mist of sound everywhere, what happens if the ceiling is suddenly 40 feet high?
Oh, then it totally falls apart.
Wouldn't that wide mist just bounce off the glass and the hard floors?
It absolutely does. It turns into complete acoustic soup before it even reaches your ears. The physics of wide dispersion just break down in high reverberant spaces. Wide sound becomes your enemy.
That makes sense.
So you have to radically change the internal architecture of the speaker.
Which totally explains something I saw in the specs for the third speaker, the high ceiling model. The AD-C6T-LPZB-WH, it has a much narrower 75-degree coverage angle, which really threw me.
Oh, sure.
Because my instinct was that a massive cavernous room would require a much wider spread of sound. Not a narrower one.
That is a super common misconception. A bigger room doesn't mean a wider spread. Instead of a floodlight, you actually need an audio spotlight.
A spotlight. Okay, so how do they physically do that?
To achieve that tight beam, this high ceiling model uses what's called a coaxial design. They actually mount the 1.4-inch high-frequency compression driver directly inside the center of the 6.5-inch woofer.
Oh, wow. So the highs and the lows are literally originating from the exact same physical point in space.
Right. That physical alignment is crucial because all the sound originates from one single point. The sound waves stay perfectly aligned. Or, in technical terms, phase accurate.
So they don't scatter everywhere.
Exactly. They don't scatter. This allows the speaker to punch a really tight focus beam straight down. It can hit a peak of 116 decibels.
Which is basically raw concert volume.
Yeah, it's loud.
Yeah.
But it needs that power just to cut through the physical distance and the background noise. It delivers clear audio directly to the people below without bouncing off the walls first.
Wow. So the next time you are in a crowded train station and you can actually understand the boarding announcements, just look up. You'll know it's because an audio engineer carefully matched the speaker's internal geometry to the room's height.
They traded the floodlight for the spotlight. It really changes how you experience a room when you realize the acoustics were physically engineered to guide sound directly to you.
It really does. Before we go, though, I want to leave you with one final thought from these specs.
Oh, the digital stuff.
Yeah. All of these QSC speakers feature something called intrinsic correction voicings via their QSYS software platform.
Right. Essentially, the system uses digital algorithms to pre-tune the audio perfectly for the space.
Which makes me wonder, if physical speaker design is becoming this heavily reliant on digital software to fix the sound. At what point does the algorithm become more critical to what we hear than the physical speaker cone itself?
That's a great question. That hidden world of physics happening right above your head is getting awfully digital.
It really is. Something to chew on. Catch you next time.